is ready.
Sure.
So, okay. So my very first question to you is that how was your experience here at Engage?
Um, so I had opted or taken similar kind of courses, both in-house and also external. So in-house means the organization where I'm working, and external means you have various service providers and all. But when Engage reached out to me and they kind of talked about, I was really excited. Uh, what are the things which attracted me? First is the cost part, because definitely the cost was economical, uh, better than what others were offering, and then the content was more so it was kind of similar, or maybe additional contents were there which was not getting covered earlier. During the course, during as I was gone through and I had gone through all the classes, I realized it was more than what was promised. So really happy, and I will surely recommend others also to opt for this course in whichever shape and form, or whenever I will get an option to talk about.
There are 8 more to come. So my second question is that are you satisfied?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Now my third question is that how do you find this platform unique, which in a way has helped in transforming things for you?
So one of the challenges which I always have is that you learn a lot, but whether you understood it correctly and you were able to implement them the way it should be, these were the two factors which were always missing. And you definitely need someone who monitors you, observe you, and see whether you are implementing what you have learned or not, or what you have understood or not, which I got it covered through Engage. So
Okay.
that these two aspects had helped during the course time. Now it's upon me how I continue that. But yeah, time to time, you definitely need that assessment that you're following the right path, and which is where my request to Engage will be maybe the students who have opted for any kind of a program, maybe once in a quarter or so, you can charge for that. If there is a session for an hour or so with those students to basically assess whether they still implementing what they have learned or not, because that will help for sure. That will help.
Okay, nice. So, my other question is that see, there were collated feedbacks which were maintained, right, in the CR folder. So, did that thing help you in implementing the things in practical?
Yes, because normally what happens is when you interact, you remember few things and you misinterpret or you forget few things. And those folders, those feedback, when you go and check, kind of refreshed what you have learned. So that they have really helped.
Then, did you find discomfort at any step during the session? Discomfort in a way where you were feeling hesitant, you're not able to put up your questions, or something you were putting up and I was not able to answer them. So,
So
in that.
not with the facilitator or from the teacher perspective, it was my own thing that I was not clear what I should discuss, what should I not discuss. So, but when slowly, gradually, I started off discussing few basic things, got the solution, then we started talking about almost each and everything, and how to manage, what to do in such situation, what to do in why situation. So nothing from the teacher perspective or from the counselor perspective, but more that I was not comfortable whether I can discuss anything in this
Fine. So finally, you
forum.
were able to just
Yes,
resolve that problem of yours,
correct.
right? Okay. My second last question to you is, how does all these things translate to your real life scenario and in the corporate world?
Okay, so the thing which we have discussed definitely happen regularly or frequently in our life and also in our corporate life. So let's talk about giving presentation,
Mhm.
Let's talk about communication. Let's talk about idiom phrases. These
Mhm.
are the things which you, if you're working, you have to use it uh,
Mhm.
almost every day. Hence, what we discussed was kind of aligned to
Mhm.
what we do.
Mhm.
Maybe on the presentation thing, we can have more slides,
Mhm.
more structure with regards to, okay, if you're, and more related to corporate in the sense, okay, if you're giving any proposal, what
Mhm.
your proposal should have, or if you're challenging something,
Mhm.
then what are the ways, or if you're only talking about your performance, your metrics and all,
Mhm.
then what should be there, how you can make that metrics interesting and so
Mhm.
on. Because otherwise, these are simple numbers. Like we
Mhm.
read something that 20% growth year on year.
Mhm.
That sentence may not have that meaning until
Mhm.
unless you add something to it.
True, true.
That's my only request. That on on presentation,
Mhm.
especially preparing part,
Mhm.
not what should be there, but especially preparing part, we can definitely add few more things.
Mhm. Last, but is there any reflection, any two things which you want we could improve upon?
So one I have already spoken about the presentation part.
Presentation.
Yeah, presentation part I have already spoken.
Mhm.
Overall, I don't. Uh, I think reaching out to people and sharing what Endgear is doing is important. And
Mhm.
I'm not sure how Endgear is currently doing that because there are many who are in this field. I know that there is Image Consulting Group,
Mhm.
there is Capable, there is BBR, and there are many more
Mhm.
who are working on executive presentations or executive presence and so on.
Mhm.
Uh, but yours is a complete program with reasonable charges of fee,
Mhm.
uh, which is important in current scenario. Second
Mhm.
is, like I mentioned, once the course is over,
Mhm.
um, how we follow up
Mhm.
and how we check the consistency and continuity, that will be also important. These are the two things which I will suggest. One is definitely the PowerPoint, and second is the continuation or consistency assessment will surely.
Mhm. Fine. So, anything else from your end you want to add up? So,
No,
yeah.
nothing. No, nothing. You're well versed with what I was going through and what I'm currently going through, and I'm
Mhm.
happy that I was able to express myself. Got the solution. The biggest part is the I got the solution.
Mhm.
Initially, I was also hesitant. It's a
Mhm.
habit, right? You
Mhm.
don't implement what you get to know. But
True.
slowly, gradually, when I implemented that, I saw that there's a change,
Mhm.
and which is why. So it was more of a trial than seeing whether you're getting the results or not, which I did, and that actually I got the results. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed,
Mhm.
trying my best to implement
That is
whatever I
must.
have learned. Yeah, yeah, that's the will
Yes.
help. So nothing, all good, all good. I'm really happy that I joined in.
Mhm. Fine. So now let me save the file.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a good rest of the day. Good night. But I will